So it's really early in the morning, um, and waking up with the typical stuff that these people do. The disturbing part of when you're a target individual and you are a obviously human subject in this governmental program, you um, deal with these perps contracted by the government. And because I'm a target individual who deal with the V2K and synthetic telepathy, dream modulations, and a lot of manipulation occurs all the time. Thought manipulation, memory manipulation, perception manipulation via this technology that can just literally impose thoughts, impose dreams, impose memories, falsify memories, reaction, stimulation. And then you hear perps. Um, these perps are the contracted civilians that you hear them interacting with you, and it's not just a hearing coming from your ear, but is using V2K, so direct interaction to your brain. This is a very sophisticated technology coming from the Department of Defense, and that's why we're human subjects, because they're utilizing this very sophisticated technology onto us. But like I mentioned, this very intelligence community fingerprint all over this program. So psyops and facades are created, as is typical coming from those entities. So you get these people who become so gimmicky and disturbing and foul and somehow block out reality and how disturbing they are. Not that they just do disturbing things to people, right? But disturbingly and pedophilia centric. Because with me, they have tried to create this femme fatale facade, psyop, which is so disturbing, knowing that they torture a lot of women in ways that you can't even imagine, and children. And so when I hear them talking, like, oh, what the reason? Yesterday was so disturbing. This childlike individual, or somebody who sounds like she's not very much an adult, but like this childlike individual, maybe a young woman, I don't know, because you just hear them. And the way she makes herself sound is just like, imagine if you watch a movie and you know that in the movie you want to sound like menacing or like fierce, like old cartoon. It's like, you're gonna pay for what you did now, like that kind of and sounding gimmicky sounds from these perps, where they try to sound in certain ways very like movie-ish kind of gimmickiness, like they've tried to create a persona where they're this femme fatale or these fierce beings, and and that's not only women or females, I should say, but guys too. They're like, you're gonna die like this, and they create this voice that is supposed to be like this menacing voice, and it's just so disturbing, because especially when it comes from those female, because they want to create that femme fatale, fierce character that they created, but then trying to sound like using pedophilia, tormenting, is fierce, right? There is this, when this BuzzFeed article comes out exposing that there's a bunch of pedophiles in these agencies, one of these channel going through this article said, why are they letting so many pedophiles in these agencies? Why are they keep letting pedos coming up in these ranks in these different agencies when they do background check, and instead of like weeding them out during the background, they let them in, working in these entities, right? And so that's disturbing. But this trash want to sound fierce in this kind of disturbing question. So you hear this childlike person, maybe young adult person, comes in, it's like, where the why? And she goes back into the apartment, and it's like so disgusting. It's so disturbing. So basically you're saying that you're the why there's so many pedophiles in these agencies? And to me, it's like, can you imagine in your life, you try to sound fierce about the issue of pedophilia in these agencies, and in your life you're like responding to that question, why are they letting so many pedophiles in these agencies? You come out and you have to do this. We are the why. There's so many pedophiles in this agency. CIA agents raping children. We're the why, right? Now, it's disgusting. But the reality is, obviously, they're just the trash. They're the bottom feeder in these entities, like contract. They're not even in these entities. They're just contracted by those entities. So they're just like the nothings that these whys, these pedophiles, are contracting. So they're just the nobody. So I understand that. So she can say whatever. The truth is, I see truly what she is. She's just nothing. She can't even say the name of a pedophile. Matter of fact, they will try to even say, where the why of what's happening to you is happening to you. No, what's happening to me is because you can't even say that name that I'm saying. That's why. I know why I'm here. It's because my old employer put me in this program. The reason why you can't say Roy Moore. That's the why. I'm not going to let you escape. Now, once you put in this program, it's over. They do whatever they want to you. Whatever. You basically, to them, you're dead. And they would tell me way before. I didn't even understand what they were saying. They would tell me I was a dead man walking. Before I even came to New York, they was indicating things like that. That was like a dead man alive. I was like, why are they saying these nasty things? So once you put in this program, it's over. The rest is just however it goes. It's just just choosing how this dead person can just gonna die. And I'm not even making it hard in the sense that I'm not trying to run away. I'm here. As a matter of fact, it's funny. I had the option to brought away in a slower version, less painful version, somewhere more comfortable, or here in New York, in this more where there's gonna be more misery and pain, but because this misery and pain gives me what I need before anything happens, the ability to see this trash for what they are. I get to see these bottom feeders for the losers and the nothings that they are. I get to see this mass shooting that is caused by a target individual who ended up killing 18 people. I get to see this BuzzFeed article exposing the pedophilia issues in these agencies. I get to say Roy Moore, and none of this trash can say that. I get to see the testimonials that are really here in the United States. Wherever I was going to go, I was not going to hear that, at least not in that country. Here, literally, I know there's target individual, even children, being raped and being tortured sexually, tortured and tormented, and women speaking up all around this country. And so when I see this trash, be like, no, you're going to pay. It's like, I know what you do to women. I know what you do to children. Trash, the people who really have to pay for what they're involved in is you, but you know that already. You know this nastiness, so do your nasty frame, do what trash do. But don't try to sound fierce when you do that. Accept the trashiness that you have accepted to be. They are nasty. I had a dream forced by them this morning. They had this disturbing dream. It's like they're finding ways and tweaking around things they can do to make things more disturbing for me. Or not even for me, but in general, I feel that this is something they can apply onto the next target individual. They make me have a dream with a weird dream, and then there's like some kind of woman naked, woman, well, not even, she's wearing underwears or something that half naked, and then the underwears turn into like little kids' underwear, little girls' underwears. And they try to create now sexual stimulation, but make me think of little girls. So disturbing. To kind of condition my brain in these pedophilia ways, I was like, what the nasty trash. And so you can see them tweaking around how to make a person think about children in a sexual way. Far trash. Imagine living life where you find ways, okay, if we make him think or make her think about this, but we add like a little girl's underwear or a little boy's little underwear and do this and that, train, we can condition his brain to think more and more about children in this way. That is the way this trash live life right now. And try to find fierceness in these disgusting ways of manipulating people. It's so foul. It's so disturbing. And then they try to go into like, oh, they're going to rape you, they're going to torture you. It's like, listen, whatever's going to happen to me, right, in these horrible ways, I can reassure you, I will never want to trade place with somebody who is trying to find ways to condition somebody's brain in these pedophilia ways and find what's going to work and how to change things and what can they manipulate in different ways is so disturbing. And it's just nasty, but that's the life of these pedos. Well, they're not even, these people are the trash of the pedos. They're the nastiness of the pedos. These pedos are gods to them. They're the reason why they sound like that. Now you're gonna die for this trash. Nastiness. And trying to find ways to diverge. No, you are trash. You're a low-life bottom feeder. I can't even, like, they're not even just the pedophiles. The pedophiles are the one running these bottom feeders. They're just trying to find ways to condition the brain in these disgusting ways. And then because last night, the thing is, throughout the week, what they like to do, they play with your libido. I'm telling you, the way they play with your sexual arousal is still nasty. Through the whole day, so you get like this extreme sexual force arousals all day. So you are cranked up. And as a sexual person, because they play with your libido in this disturbing way, but you still mess with your libido, you want to like release that libido. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch adult content, right? Which they tell me they're going to they're going to implant child porn. And they say that try to sound fierce. So it's child porn. We're going to implant child porn. And say that with a fierceness of like a feminist, like fierce. It's our child porn. We're going to implant child porn. Right? They say these things in this, this is so disturbing how they are so low lives. I'm just thank God. And they think that their gender permits them to be like, we're going to plant child porn. Can you imagine how disgusting? Obviously, they're ruining, this feminism is real. This, you have to be, they should be a strong woman. There's such thing. But this trash want to use that strength of being a strong woman, but try to create that in these disturbing ways. Oh, we're going to play child porn. Just to sound fierce about it. We're mean. Yesterday, they were saying that. Child porn. Or it's child porn because they're trying to insinuate they're going to implant child porn. But that's how that is. So I watch adult content. Unfortunately, I don't like it because it makes me feel this negative. I don't think adult content is good. And I'm, you know what I mean, two adults having an adult moment. And so it's so delusional. Two adults having adult things, having sex. And so sad. Because in my brain, I try to kind of diverge into my childhood and me as a child. It's stupidity. So I want to watch that, right, to release myself. Once I do that, the thing with adult content, meaning to adult, and I'm saying that specifically because these trash are trying to implant their nastiness of wishful thinking, because they probably will implant child porn. They want me to think, to say this nastiness. But let me be clear, two adults having sex. This trash, want pedophilia things instead. But they try to sound fierce doing that. You know how nasty these low lives are, but that's what bottom feeders do for a living. Oh, that's what trash do. The empowerment feeling of what they want to feel it's they don't care anymore that how pedophilia they are. That they try to sound fierce in that nastiness. Um, I'm I watch adult content, meaning two adults having sex. I release myself because I have so much libido due to what they've manipulated. They force me to get stimulation nonstop. It's nonstop. So that kind of helps clear some. And so once I do that usually, unfortunately with adult content, I'm gonna be frank with what's the reality and being transparent. That makes me want to watch more adult content. That's why I think that is negative, and that is people can get addictive to this. So I wake up from this dream, even though they're trying to condition me in these pedophilia ways. I'm like, I want to watch adult content, meaning two adults having sex. But I'm like, okay, let's see. I'm gonna be strong, and then they also crank it up because they want me to do that. It kind of is negative and drain me. And so I go on YouTube and I scroll down. I was like, I'm still like contemplating to do that. I'm still thinking about it, but I'm like, I just, I don't want to do it. I try to do it as minimal as possible because I know the negative of it. And then all of a sudden there's like a video where there's a father with a little baby girl. I was like, oh, for sure I can't, because they already kind of try to stimulate me, and then they're like, oh, now go do that, make me think of watching adult content, two adults having sex, but make me imagine of this picture of this image of the father and his child, and the child, and try to that make me imagine that instead. I'm like, oh, completely for sure. I cannot even imagine. I can't even. Maybe 2 days from now I'll do it. Maybe, but I can't. And every time as a child's like, oh, make me imagine doing what I was thinking to do earlier, watching adult content, two adults having sex, and release myself, but make me imagine a child in my head. You see how they twist my brain in these disgusting ways? They're nasty trash. But that's not the first time. They do that all the time. All the time. If I'm thinking about doing that, I should either do it completely, like just immediately do it, which I don't, I'll always be hesitant to do that. Meaning watching adult content, watching two adults having sex and releasing myself, which I'll always be hesitant doing that because I know the negative of it. But if I don't do it and this thought is in my head, if I see a child, they're gonna force me to imagine this child in my head while I'm imagining watching adult content with two adults having sex. It's disturbing, but that's how my brain is being played with. And earlier they just had me have this dream where in that dream there was a woman, and then they made me think of this kid's underwear, this little girl underwear on this woman, and then try to train my brain in this sexual way. It's so disgusting. They are pedophilia centric. They mean in a pedophilia way. They pedo mean. They pedo evil, meaning that they have pedophilia century in them and evil about it. But try to be fierce about it. It's like, oh, we're so mean. Yes, you're pedophiles. Trash. And try to minimize how pedocentric these trash are, which is a coincidence that there's a lot of pedophiles in the agencies contracting this trash. And they, by the way, they try to be like, now fierce. You're going to pay. Now you're going to pay for what you did. You're going to rot. Because they tortured my organs. Who knows what's happening there. Right? And they're like, you're going to rot for it. And I'm like, please tell me for what exactly. So I can be clear to bring up the right thing for you. It's like, for what you did as a child. I was like, oh. You who tortured children. Sexually tortured children. I mean, let's forget about the psychological torment they do to us. For example, what I just said. The actual torture of children that is sexual too. That is not even just sexual, but even others. Suffocations. Making kids sick, rashes and everything like that. blinding children. The testimonials that you've heard that they do to children. Trash. The kind of sufferings they need to be, the sufferings they need to have for just being involved in a program that can do that to children. And try to sound fierce. Nasty trash. For even the kids that died. For the mass shootings that caused death of children, of a child. This trash is disgusting. The pain they've done they've caused children. What should happen to you for just being involved in a program that does that? Nasty trash. So I'm never gonna let you live your fantasy. When they try to talk about me as a child, look at a picture of me around that age. I'm like, you trash. That's the stupid thing a child like that can do. Well, you trash us involved in a program that can do so much horrible thing to even a 3-week-old baby, you piece of shit. So continue to do your trashy things. Continue to embellish your life like this. Continue to bless your life like this. As they try to manipulate my brain into the manipulation to make me experience. It's nasty. So for me, I gotta be strong. And whatever way they just twist my brain into thinking, it's funny because I say the embellish right now. They it's always a loop of mental battle. I say a word, they bring up a manipulation, they make me experience because I talk about how they can make you look at people differently. They can embellish a beauty, and it's me trying to be PC, saying that they can make somebody appear in your brain differently, maybe adds things that's not there. And they like to do that to children. Like teenage kids, they try to make them be voluptuous when they're not, or create something to create some kind of appealness. Like they change things in your perception of somebody. And I was being PCs in a sense that they embellish the beauty, meaning that like they make it seem like that's not you. I'm sorry, my brain is creating something that's not real. And these teenage kids think it's real, like they're just walking like oh gosh, if you only know like how I would see you in real life. And naturally, in my brain they can play with me to create something to see in a way that to try to make you look like somebody I would feel something toward. And these kids just go along with thinking that it's just like, and they walk with like, it's so nasty. But anyways, I'd rather die in these horrible ways. Because this trash in a program that abuse, torture, destroy lives or even children, I can never let them live their fantasy. Death in these horrible ways is better than living the life that they live. I know they have this sense of togetherness, and this program obviously knows how to handle these bottom feeders to make them feel special and empowered, when in reality you're just a foul trash and you got tricked into being involved in some of the nastiest things you never ever thought. And I'm not talking about being forced to do anything. You just wanted to feel special, and now look at your trash as you are here try to find ways to manipulate your brain to think about children in a sexual way and try to sound fierce doing it. It's so disgusting.